Damn it, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my super companions. Send in the frowns himself, head in a jar he go.
Hello.
And the incomparable Slab 2 Weeks.
What's up?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, folks. This week we're talking about the 2018, well, it's not really a classic, but probably it'll be a cult classic, along with its spiritual brother, which is Moon, with Sam Rockwell, which we covered many moons ago, and that would be the movie Mute, starring one of the many Skarsgårds. And Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux and some other actors, some known actors, some unknown actors, certainly to American audiences. This movie was the first Netflix movie that comes out of Germany, so it's kind of cool, kind of a big deal. It's a science fiction film, and that's all I got for now. Let's get into some high level. Who wants to go first?
I had never even heard of this one. Did you talk about this at any point on the show, Benny? I can't remember. You probably did. Like, mention it.
I definitely mentioned it when we did Moon, I think.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I'd never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward pause. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was... I didn't realize it was Duncan Jones, David Bowie's kid, who did Moon. I didn't realize that until the Sam Rockwell cameo on the TV screen, where I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a tick.
I'm kind of like glad. I mean, I didn't really have any issues. The issues that I had with the movie didn't make me dislike the movie, and then recognizing that it was Duncan Jones kind of changed my opinion of the movie a little bit, where I just kind of was a little bit more forgiving, because I was just like, I wanted to see what he was doing, because he's obviously talented. I just didn't know who did it and just assumed it was just a random sci-fi Netflix flick. And then seeing that it was Jones and seeing that it was in the Moon universe, I was like, oh, okay, like, the guy's capable of making good stuff. So, like, why is he making all these choices? And, like, what's this fucking pedophilia thing all about? Like, this is kind of weird. But I think, like, at a high level, when I was young, I wanted any sci-fi I could get, and this would definitely qualify. And it was a interesting world and a interesting premise. It was Kingpin in space, like, weird Amish dude, kind of like learning how to bowl. There was a pretty sick bowling alley, a triple decker bowling alley, and it was an enjoyable flick. I think if Paul Rudd was not cast as Cactus Bill and it was somebody else who I equally appreciate, I might not have appreciated the movie as much. But just seeing Paul Rudd be like crazy fucking, knife man, I kind of liked a lot. And I mean, Skarsgård did a lot with the main character, considering he didn't talk. I kind of, it's the premise of the movie, but I kind of like it when Skarsgård talks. But like, I enjoyed the flick. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 bits.
Wow, you just went around the world on that high level.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Slab? No, you don't have to be sorry.
All over the place.
All the things. I'm done.
Benny, what do you got? Something tight?
Tight like a
high level?
I'll try and keep it short, but first I got to say that I'm cracking up because Alexander Skarsgård's thumbnail is still him shirt cocking it with a tuxedo top.
It's pretty good. I do enjoy that he's shirt cocked. The red carpet.
And I feel like the last movie we did with him in it.
Same.
Was still the same thumbnail, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Good stuff.
He seems like a good dude.
Yeah, I think I've seen this a couple times, maybe 3 or so. I don't know. First time I watched it was a similar thing. Like, I didn't realize it was part of the Moon universe. And then, like, on the second watching, I picked up on the whole Sam Bell trial thing. And if there's parts that, or I know there's at least one part where, like, if you look in the background, there's like resistance propaganda thing with, like, like free Free Bell, you know, like
Yeah.
like a little like stylized picture of him, you know, like so it was pretty cool. And then like the gas station they go to is like the same,
Yeah,
or the
Lunar
Helium
Industries,
3.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's at the same company. So there's like this cool little sort of Easter eggs from Moon in there.
Connective tissue.
But yeah, Alexander Skarsgård, I think, is, you know, great as the mute protagonist, and Paul Rudd is surprisingly good as a bad guy.
Yeah, he did great, man.
I really enjoyed it, man. And he's got an epic mustache.
Absolutely
And,
fantastic.
Yeah, as creepy as the whole like pedophilia thing was, Justin Theroux was like did it really, really well. Like he was such a fucking creeper.
He was such a creeper.
Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, kind of a mystery / revenge story. That's good.
Yeah.
Next.
I'll keep it tight as well. I loved watching this movie. It was great. I'm not surprised that Paul Rudd can play a good bad guy at all. He's such a great, talented guy. Skarsgård was great. You know, the Blade Runner backdrop was fantastic. You know, sci-fi elements. There's nothing like a cool story with a sci-fi background. You know, like pretty much that's what it was. You know, the sci-fi elements didn't really play like a super central part in it, but
it's kind of like the Connery flick in the sense that it didn't need to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the last thing I'll say along the lines of high levels, I kind of
get me a space movie.
I kind of think Justin Theroux, he kind of stole the show a little bit, man. He was so fucking good. I was like, who is this guy, man?
Yeah, seriously.
And I'd looked up the cast before I started it, and then I looked it up, you know, mid-watch, and I was like, wow, okay, man. That was that. Like, it was really, really good. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with him, but I definitely recognize him when I looked him up, and like it's such like a different look for him with that like, you know, kind of John Lennon-ish sort of, you know, thing with the like, you know, the mop haircut and the round glasses and shit.
John Lennon, right?
Right? I mean,
totally,
you know,
dude. No,
something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
In general, there's like a lot of like kind of 70s-ish fashion going on in this flick. Like, you know, even Paul Rudd with his fucking sideburns and his giant mustache and his shaggy hair. Yeah.
Can we take a moment to acknowledge that Kev was right, and in the future, short sleeve collared shirts worn by Paul Rudd are in fashion?
Told ya.
Because he had that sick, like, it was like a black Hawaiian. It was like a black shirt with like kind of goldish, yellowish palm fronds on it.
Kind of a evil Hawaiian shirt, as it were.
Minus all of the pederasty. I feel like Paul Rudd's character in this movie is kind of your spirit animal, Kev. Like,
there you go.
I feel like he's you know, like in like Scott Pilgrim, there's like Nega Scott. I feel like this is like Nega Kev, you know? Like
there you go.
Like
oh, who Rudd? Rudd's my Nega Kev.
Yeah. He's, you know.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. It's a pretty fucking epic stash, dude. Like, I like how Benny was just like, what do you guys think about doing this one? He's like, you know, Paul Rudd's got a mega stash. And it's like, fuck me, does he ever?
I believe the exact words were, it's worth it just to see.
Just for the stash. You're not wrong.
Just for the stash, man.
Not wrong at all.
It's a stash, man. It is real.
It is real. It's worth it just to discuss Paul Rudd's mustache.
and also to discuss why Paul Rudd doesn't always have that mustache.
I know. I think he's rocked a stash before, but this thing was just epic. We might as well just, you know, that's the elephant in the room. We might as well talk about it first. We haven't had a really good dig in on a stash in a while. Like, that thing it's burly, okay? It's a good amount of chuff going on there. It's like a Western sort of, but with like
It's Chuffy Chase.
It's either like a Western, like a gunslinger with like 70s elements, or it's a 70s with like some gunslinger elements, you know?
That's an Elliot. It's an Elliot adjacent stash, I think.
Elliot.
Adjacent. Sam Elliott.
Oh, Sam. Oh,
Elliot
yeah,
that's-
That's a big statement.
Yeah, I mean,
It was inspired by. It's not like in the same ballpark.
I can hear Ben's brain chewing on that one.
Don't know if I'm going to accept this or not. What do the judges say?
Well, let's see.
I'm just gonna use the line from the movie, and Duck suggests that he should just take his papers to go home or whatever. He's like, but you have to shave that lady tickler.
Yeah.
So,
And he says, I'd rather die.
Yeah, which
die.
is, which is the only response to that, right? It's the correct
Exactly.
response.
Exactly.
That is, you are correct, sir.
That is the correct response. Well, I mean,
So,
it
yeah,
is.
I'm just going to go with calling it a lady tickler.
There you go.
I mean, it's one big lady, dude, because that is a tickler.
Cactus Bill and the Lady Tickler. It's like a dynamic duo, you know?
It was like a 70s porn bush of a mustache, you know? Like it's a pretty
Yeah, that is.
heavy duty
So,
stash.
It's
bushy.
thick.
It's thick.
Very
Puby.
bushy. Very, very pube-esque and bushy. You know, like Benny's is pretty big based on that last photo. But it's coiffed.
Sentences
you know?
out of context.
It's shaped. Phrasing.
Yeah, he's got those bits on the side that are like part of his beard, you know? That I don't know if I could. I feel
Go
like there's
there.
there's a gap, you know, between my mustache and my beard there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have to give that a try.
Give it a shot, dude.
That's fucking.
That's
It's kinda like,
something I would like to see.
It's kind of like stash burns, you know, like the sideburns aren't on the side. The sideburns are like somewhat connected to the end of the stash, you know?
His
Kinda
mustache
sticking
has
out.
sideburns, but he also has sideburns.
Yeah. It's
He
the
did.
quad burn.
Yeah, he had some pork
quad
chops
burn.
going.
Yeah.
It's got a
It's the,
fucking
it,
quad
should call
burn.
it the Mr. Burns.
There you go. Quad
I kind of just like quad burn.
Yeah.
Quad burn. So that's a great name for a character. Quad burn.
Yeah. And next week you'll tell us all about the character you made in City of Heroes.
There you go. No. That's not City of Heroes material, bro.
Fine.
Fine.
So yeah, that's the stash.
Oh, we
I
got to
thought-
rate that stash. We got to hold on. We got to rate that stash on the.
It's
on the,
4 to
the-
4 burns, dude.
No. It's the Chad Escobar scale. You remember that? I don't even know. I think you came up with that. Because we
I'll
did,
tell you
Clear
exactly
and Present Danger.
how to rate this on the Escobar scale.
Go.
It's $2 million.
I'm gonna give this mustache. This is a 5 out of 5 Escobars, dude.
I mean, that's
how
fair.
good.
It's pretty. I mean, and it's Rudd, dude. Like that's like a bonus. It's bonus points.
Though I feel like the wearer can make the stash more epic. What do you think about that concept, Ben?
Yes, 100%.
Right? I mean, wholeheartedly, right?
It's unfair. It's an unfair advantage to the rest of the populace, but it is true.
Sure.
Well, there's also an element of you don't see Paul Rudd with a mustache very often. So to see him with that epic of a stash is, you know, this is sort of like there's like a novelty there that really just knocks things up a few notches.
Definitely. What was that name? Quad what? Quad burn?
Quad
burns.
burns.
Quad burn.
You'll get me a space movie.
There you go. Ooh,
That's
That's a good name for you.
Yeah. I feel like I want to segue us back to the. Sometimes we do shows and then we'll watch something a few weeks later, and like the fact that it's fresh really helps. And I totally loved the kind of Kingpin-esque nature of Leo. Like it's completely ridiculous, obviously, but I just thought it was really funny having an Amish dude in the future. It was like, okay, like right on.
But he was raised in Sweden, so that kind of
yeah, but
I
it's
didn't
like
really get,
it's
like,
European Kingpin, dude. You know, like
okay,
shit. Duck
right.
even had a kind of Woody Harrelson hairdo a little bit, not really, but like it was a very
kind of did,
weird
dude.
movie.
Kind of did.
So there's no connective tissue at all, but I just got a kick out of the Amishness of it all.
Some flimsy connective tissue.
Hey, whatever.
Connective tissue.
Flimsy is a word that's used to describe my line of thinking often.
It wouldn't hold up in a court of law, but you know,
no.
Well,
or the court of EBD.
We'll buy it here.
Appeal.
But Judge Wapner would buy it just for the TV factor.
Yeah, I don't know. The more you keep
friends, we'll accept the anecdotal evidence.
Okay.
The more you keep talking about it, the more I keep thinking about it. It's like the bowling scene, the hair, you know, Amish.
The
kid.
bowling. I enjoy the bowling scene, man.
My friend, you're about to embark on a great adventure.
But I think it was the triple decker bowling alley that was like, how can we make this bowling alley futuristic? Like, well, it could be a double decker. And then they were like, no, triple decker, a triple decker.
But the thing is that it was just pretty much a regular bowling alley, like every other one. You know, beyond
great.
that, like there was nothing magical or futuristic.
I feel like it was a 6-decker, and if you go down a deck, the dude was there, and if you go down another deck, you know, the Kingpin dudes are there, and yeah. Reno, honey. I did enjoy Cactus Bill fucking like breaking Duck's fingers and being like, I'll take your shot. Just like throws the ball up in the air. It's like, oh man, we missed.
Yeah, it was great.
It's just the right amount of ruddness in this movie.
It was.
The odd couple of those two, you know, they're sort of like throwing off like a fucking Hawkeye Pierce and Honeycutt fucking sort of vibe, like
100%.
So weird. That was in the "Let's Make It Nuggets Not Fun" section of trivia.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that exact thing. Yeah, it said that they were actually modeled after those two characters, sort of.
Which is perfect.
Very interesting,
right?
It makes sense.
Very interesting that you caught that.
Yeah, well, interesting. Yeah, but there's like when Paul Rudd finally gets his papers, he's like, "Let's celebrate. We're going to the mall."
Going to TGI fucking Fridays equivalent.
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
Yeah, but I love it. It's like, woo! But like they go and they're the only three. There's three people in there, and two of them are them. And then they go and play like Battlefield 1942 arcade game. It's like, oh
Totally.
yeah, man, pull out all the stops.
Yeah, that was cool. They I don't know. The dynamic between the two of them was really, really good. Like they just, you know, like Ben said, that riffing, that chemistry was, you know, a lot like those guys from MASH. And I don't know if that's what they were intentionally going for in the, like, you know, the acting part of it, but man, it was really, really good. That's where, you know, and Justin Theroux, like the way he talked, you know, everything babe, you know, it was great. And like, I was getting excited when he would have scenes because, you know, it was so good, man. And I could not nail down who it was. It was the hair that threw me off, you know. I just looked him up a few minutes ago, and he's, like, I think his big sort of, I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff like Miami Vice and Zoolander 2 and The Master and all these different things, Last Jedi. But he did The Leftovers, I think was his kind of one of his big things, the 2014 to 2017. And then also he did this show called The District back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. He looked really familiar, but.
Yeah. I mean, I have never seen him really. I mean, I have seen him, not in like a major part, you know? I mean, he was in Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in fucking American
Rick and
Psycho.
Morty.
He was in Zoolander. You know, like, who the fuck is he in all these movies? So.
Oh, he was in The Mosquito
absolutely
Coast. Wait. The Mosquito Coast is a TV series, 2021 to 2023. Chad, this is like your dream come true, bro.
Yeah, it's no botany.
No botany, baby. So anyway, Yeah, I was really, really impressed by his performance.
Ish.
Should do that one.
No, wait. Mosquito Coast was Harrison Ford, right? Wasn't Medicine
I
Man
don't
the
know.
Sean Connery one?
Yeah, it was.
Can we do the Sean
Braca.
Connery one?
You want to be there for that? We're not going to be able to do for that one.
Yes.
No, we're not going to do for that one.
Get me a movie where I come up with the cure for cancer.
In the jungle.
And I'll give it to that lady with the cancerous pushy.
Yes. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Anyway, Justin Theroux is great, man. And like, just there's a lot of elements of the character, the pedophilia thing. I didn't really get that whole angle. And we can kind of dive into that a little bit more, but like just the contrast between the way he was with Paul Rudd when they were in the, the sort of black market surgery area and, the pedophilia thing. And then the two of them hanging out together. Just the dynamic they had was really, really cool. And he just, I don't know. And by the end, I was like, this guy kind of steals this movie. Like the character's so good.
He kind of does.
So
the two of them do, like it's enjoyable to see Rudd. Yeah. I feel like there's a good chance that a number of listeners haven't watched the movie. So maybe the description leads into the comment you just made about talking about that angle where I guess it's just,
Sure.
Skarsgård is a mute dude who had a boating accident as an Amish guy or some fucking shit. I don't know. It's weird. But it takes place in Germany. Skarsgård is a mute and is like the lovable lug that lives in the big city as an Amish guy in Berlin. Sure. And his beloved is some blue-haired cocktail waitress who, in the noir sense is going to get got and he's going to save the fucking day. So like that's the kind of like core of it. But then there's all this weird stuff where I think like the pedophilia angle, the whole thing is just to pay off later. Him deep breathing, slugging water throughout the movie is just to pay off later. Him being a good swimmer is just to pay off later. Like it's all just to pay off later, which fine, cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's a noir movie with a mute guy, basically, like in terms of plot. And the rest of it's just window dressing, But it's reasonably well executed as a noir movie.
You're right. It is like that, actually. It's kind of another kind of Blade Runner-y.
Yeah.
Blade Runner's a futuristic.
What was the one we did with Bruno? The one where it was like Prohibition Town?
Oh God. Yeah.
Last Man Standing. I love
that.
That.
It's just a noir, It's, Alexander Skarsgård is like fucking Simple Jack or whatever the fuck, He's just like sitting there carving his little wood. And like, I love that he's like a little carpentry guy. Yeah. And then later on, he just like takes with a bedpost with a dolphin on it and starts just fucking slugging people. And it's so great.
Man. Oh, man.
I don't know. It's all just payoffs all the way down.
Sure. He just beats the shit out of everyone in that club, including the giant dude with the glasses.
Yeah, Gunther.
I don't know, but like the way that
the way you keep talking about the pay, you're like it's payoff after payoff. Like, are you saying that like that's a bad thing or
no? I kind of liked it.
It's
like
just, that's the way it is. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It was just like on its face a payoff. Like it's the Chekhov's gun thing where like if you show something in a movie, it needs to be there for a reason, and so like. He's doing that. He's
sure
showing you shit that does pay off in pretty much all of the ways, Even the fucking drawing of the little girl makes a drawing of a bear and then he gives her a drawing of 2 bears and then she gives him back a drawing of 3 bears. It's like all of the stuff is payoffs, which is fine. But it's just like kind of so obvious that I don't know, that it makes it a ride instead of a film. I don't know. I don't know if I'm if I'm good or bad or ugly about it, but I suppose like I prefer a movie where it's more subtly done, but at the same time it didn't bother me, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think Duck being a pederast is really just to ratchet attention between him and Cactus Bill, like in the early part of the movie, and then by the end where Cactus Bill has been iced and Duck is going for his daughter. You're like, no. Like you're like it really like the the whole time you're like, you better not fucking get a hold of his daughter, you know?
Well, and then that scene where he turns the screen towards
that's
Duck,
exactly what happens.
towards Cactus on the ground. It's so vicious, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, structurally, it makes sense. Like, Leo, as the protagonist in the Noir movie, has to save the girl. But the girl here is dead, so he can't save the girl, so he needs to save a girl. You know what I mean? Like, he saves the daughter. It kind of structurally makes sense. But it is a tension device and a wrap it up in a bow device. And I just think it's kind of funny that it's like, okay, cool. And he's that kid at the pool. It's like, I bet you I can hold my breath for longer than you can. You know, and it's like he's like practicing holding his breath throughout the whole movie just to pay off to the bridge jump. You know, he's like, oh, I'm a really good breather. You know, it's like, okay, man. And we've all met that kid at the pool. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, buddy,
absolutely.
like, good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of love it. It's kind of great.
It's funny, man. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a tie-in to like the boating accident and stuff at the beginning.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I'm being an asshole as usual.
Know.
No, I mean, no, I think everything is well connected. You know, the only thing I wasn't sure about was the pedophilia thing. But I mean, you're right, because there's the daughter. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of the kind of connective tissue, like why that's there, why that's important, you know, that whole thing. Because he's just, you know, not the person to leave your daughter with, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
Not at all.
Not at all. And like, I mean, it's weird, slightly changing directions. Like and it's good too. Like, I didn't really see the whole thing with the, you know, Nadira being the mom. I didn't, like, that wasn't jumping out at me until it actually happened, you know? And sorry, my thoughts keep flying right out of my head. They're just sort of flittering around like butterflies above my head. Paul Rudd's, Cactus Bill's relationship with the daughter, like it seemed very like genuine and I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but very real, you know? It wasn't until the end that it was kind of like, I don't know, it felt different. Like,
dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing a terrible job of
I got you.
articulating here. You know what I mean? But I think like,
yeah,
I don't know, it was at the end, I was kind of like, wow, he's really kind of a scumbag, you know? But
totally.
I mean, a scumbag, you know, person can be and do horrible things all in the name of like protecting their kids and saving their kids and all that sort of thing. And we've seen that before. I guess it was kind of like that. It just kind of threw me because he seemed like such a good dad. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, she's the mom. Like, holy shit. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and then everything really starts to connect together. And I don't know, man. It was
I mean,
part of it.
He treats her well and he's sweet to her, but like, you know, he's like leaving her in the care of like a prostitute while he goes down into the fucking torture basement to like, you know, either stitch up fucking gangsters or, you know, torture people to get info out of them, you know, like he's not a good guy.
Right.
But you don't know it at first.
He does a good job of like isolating her from that, I guess, you know.
Right. And it seemed like the way the story unfolds, it was kind of like, you know, he had to be there and he was trying to get home and all this stuff. And I kind of took it as like, oh, well, he kind of does like this and that to
He's doing what he has to do,
make it work and get the money and take care of the girl and try to get them back to the US or wherever it was they were trying to get back to. And I don't know. I think that's the way I looked at it. So I wasn't like, oh, he's a terrible guy. Yeah, but it does. There's definitely a shift. Yeah. And and at the end I was like, wow, he's really just
a piece of shit.
Kind of a scumbag. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Good. That's good description.
Well, I mean, it starts off with him sewing up a guy that got shot. So he's like, you know, quote unquote doing the right thing. Like he's helping somebody, you know? So you're like, okay, he's an army medic. It's AWOL because it's a dystopian, you know, Berlin that's, you got to be hard scrapping to survive and he's surviving and okay, cool. Like, And it's Paul Rudd too, so it's kind of a bait and switch because you expect him to be the lovable lug, you know? So maybe that's why he found the role interesting, is because it kind of turns, you know? And you know, by halfway through when he's torturing people, you're like, actually, this guy's actually not good, you know? And he's like, he's also giving his buddy shit about being a pedophile, but he's also being like, sorry, I yelled at you about it, which is kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah,
you know, so like, yeah, it's like slowly convincing you as the viewer that it's okay for him to be, you know, taken out by Leo or whatever. So I like that it shifts, you know, you start off wanting it to be, he's okay, but it's definitely not the case.
No, I don't. I think it's great that it shifts too. You know, I think I was just sort of stream of thought slash verbal diarrhea about it, you know.
Cool.
Well, there's no real justification for Cactus Bill getting got by Leo. You know, like if the girl was not the blue-haired girl's daughter, then there's no reason for Leo to be involved and have that be the closure of the movie. You know, like that's what has to come together, you know?
Sure.
Leo's not going to turn into the fucking Punisher, you know? Like he's only in it because his love was killed, you know, or his love is missing and then he finds her dead kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know. It was kind of cyberpunky at times, like those weird sex robots. I kind of liked how weird they were.
Oh my God, dude.
It was very gritty, you know?
Part where he busts in on, I don't know if it's fucking Mary or Pippin.
It's Mary, dude. I saw that. I was so happy about it.
Yes.
I was like, dude, it's Dominic Monaghan as a geisha prostitute sex fiend. Like, okay.
Like the robots start fucking. It's like,
dude.
Right.
It was so fucking great. It feels like Jones has just the right amount of humor in these movies, man. The guy robot just has like a fuckhole for a face with like weird glasses, you know? It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Imagine the like effects studio that's like, all right, we got a job, like sick. It's been a little scarce lately. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing the new Duncan Jones movie. Oh, sick. What is it? We gotta make crazy sex robots. Like even that stripper in the strip club that was like RoboCop with jugs. It was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that threw me off.
It was so bizarre.
It's so great, like, though. I love it.
With like the giant fucking like cartoon nipples.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Like it threw me off. Like because the camera's following the main character, whichever character that was walking into the club.
It was Rudd's intro.
It was, and it was right, exactly. And he walks right in front of it. And I was like, is that a robot? Like, what? And then I looked,
but it didn't even have like,
it
wasn't even like a robot body with some like beautiful girl's face. Like it was just like, it was like a Roomba with tits, man. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like right on. I just really I like that it takes that sexual obsession to like the nth degree to make it absurd.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. That's what I liked about it too. It was like, okay, here's like an entirely new weird kink that exists in this,
and it would totally exist.
Universe.
There's totally weirdos that would be into that.
100%.
I love it. I'm so here for it. And like, and they were really good design decisions. You know, like it was ridiculous, but it's like I actually kind of like how they did this. Like, good for them. It's just like it's good on a lot of levels. It's good on 3 bowling levels.
There you go. I like seeing cool, different worlds, you know, like interesting world building is always a thing that I love. We've talked about that. We kind of all love it, you know, and it's like, this is definitely a cool little world that he's built, you know?
Totally.
And you get, it's rich enough in detail that you can get a sense of how the world is in its entirety, you know, and how it kind of operates, you know, and that it also leaves you with questions too, you know. You're just kind of like, what's going on? Why are all these, you know, I was like, why are all these U.S. military people, you know, like, why are they always talking about that? You know, like something happened.
Yeah, the AWOL shit was interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. You know, just like stuff like that. It's just really neat. Like the weird sex robots. Like, I was like, huh, okay, that's a thing. That's weird, but hey, there's a weirdo for everything, right? So
that's it.
You know, just, I don't know, cool world building. I liked it. It was just that much different, you know? There were some elements that are familiar, things that we've seen before.
Yeah,
you know?
Blade Runner
Obviously
vibes. But also
the Blade Runner vibe, but But very much its own thing, I thought, like I like the look of it with the flying ships and the neon and all that kind of stuff. Like that stuff was very cool, but he mixed in a lot of other really cool elements that were great, like the vehicles, there were some fantastic old cars, Paul Rudd's sort of, whatever the hell that thing was, super Jeep.
Like
Captain America Jeep.
Thank you. Exactly.
Dude, that was a Camacho,
Dude, yes.
President Camacho style vehicle. Like he would totally rock that thing.
That thing was the fucking,
Yeah,
that was
I
like
mean-
the Canyonero without a top on
Yeah,
it.
it kind of was.
I think you'd have to put, some monster truck tires on
You
it.
probably would. Yeah,
But,
that's fair.
sure.
That's fair.
It's got to be a little more over the top than
The
that.
spinners.
Sure.
I have a gripe of Kev about that vehicle though, just because like the vehicle came in and then there was the scene where Duck is driving across country and I was like, they'd be so cold.
Oh my God.
It was just like a ridiculous moment where I had like a Kev thought, I was like, totally unrealistic. They'd be freezing.
So true and so Kev.
There had no
yes.
fucking
That's a
doors
good
on it,
one.
man. Like, come on.
No, you're right, man. Exactly. Like, thank God that little girl had a hat on. She'd have caught a cold. No way they
She's
could have
gonna
done
catch a
that.
chill.
Yeah, exactly. God, she's got her winter coat.
I even convinced myself that there was some technology that would have been like an air barrier and it would have kept the heat in. I had a full train of thought about this whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like we've seen
so-
in other films. Yeah.
It had to be like in the spring or something, though, no?
Maybe.
No,
I don't know. A spring
it
morning can be
seemed like-
chilly. I feel like a grandma. I feel like I grew up in the Depression. talking
I
about
know-
this. Put on your socks. You're gonna catch a cold.
Cactus is always wearing that big, bulky
Yeah, he's got
winter
that-
coat, but
Yeah.
Duck was just always wearing his like pseudo like dude sweater type thing with all the crazy. I don't know.
He's wearing a Cosby sweater. Fucking petter ass. Yeah, I don't know.
Cosby sweater.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was ridiculous that I even went there with the gripes about the lack of doors on the car. It's like,
Yes.
okay, man.
Sure.
It's just a movie.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I'm getting hung up on this, but
You're gonna get hung up.
sometimes
Like
the
I brought
weather-
it up. You're like, yeah, wait a second.
No, I'm talking. I'm really.
Here
I'm,
they come.
I'm riffing off of Ben with the weather comment because I felt like at the bridge, it was like I felt like when he got out of the water, he was walking and it was crunching, like it was covered with like a thin layer of ice.
Maybe.
I don't know. It seemed cold to me. I don't know.
Speaking of cold, how fucking cold was it that Duck took Leo to the place where his beloved's picture was taken to kill him? It's like, you are a sick motherfucker.
Dude.
I like it. It was just like, that's just hardcore, man. You don't need to be
He
an
was
asshole
cold,
about
yeah,
it. Just
he
put
was-
a bullet in his head and move on with your life.
Yeah, he was pretty twisted. That's pretty twisted.
They were some twisted motherfuckers. I mean, no, obviously Duck's twisted. He's into fucking children, but
the whole
yeah, it was just dark.
the whole world seems kind of twisted. Like, I mean, there's
It does. Is that
obviously
dystopian
there's
thing?
like there's always and there's always like gangsters doing a bunch of gangster shit, and I
Yeah,
get that
fallen
part,
society stuff.
clubs and prostitution and all that kind of thing. But it was just I don't know. It was just a lot of messed up things going on. It seemed that things were like it had the feeling that the world was like kind of out of sorts, but just kind of barely holding on at the edges there, kind of feeling
Yeah.
to it, which I liked,
Sure. Yeah, it's like there are no governments. It's all like pockets of warlordy, gangstery bullshit,
Sure.
which is an interesting space. I mean, what was the... Benny would know this. What was the fucking... Is it Stevenson did the one? It was like Snow Crash or something? Or was all the little governments?
No. That was Snowpiercer with Chris Evans.
No.
No, I'm talking about the books.
No.
Books, yeah.
sorry,
Neil Stephenson, Snow Crash.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was Snow Crash that was like very... I mean, there's a lot of those cyberpunky books that are like failed state corporations are the new pseudo-government kind of gangstery shit. Like it's very in line with all of the...
Sure. I mean, there's that's a pretty common element in any cyberpunk,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Is it?
There's even an element of that in like Neuromancer.
Yeah, Neuromancer for sure. Yeah. I like it. It's an interesting kind of genre to fuck around in for sure. I wouldn't want to live in it, but
Sure.
but it works well here. I mean, there's the only a handful of nugs, and one of the kind of comments in there is that Jones has been working on this one for 15, 16 years, never got it made. It was too too hard to make at the time, so they did Moon first. Like he actually wanted to see if Rockwell would be Cactus Bill back in the day before he offered him Moon.
Yeah, I read that. I like that.
He could do that.
He could have totally done it. And but similar to the Connery movie, the Connery movie was not meant to be in space, but they decided to put it in space because that's what was popping off at the time in the 80s. And same here, it wasn't meant to be in the future. It was meant to be British gangster movie, and then he was just like, oh, fuck it, we'll make it in the future after the success of Moon. So I kind of like that it has that layer, even though it's not like mission critical, you know? I think the movie in Britain or somewhere else would have been fine, but I think the sci-fi just brings a hell of a lot to it, for me at least.
You get me a space movie.
Exactly.
That limey bastard Roger Moore made Moonraker.
Get me a space movie. I was just saying, I like that there's a sci-fi layer because the movie was originally meant to be a British gangster movie back in the day, 15 years ago.
I saw that.
He decided to put the sci-fi layer on. I appreciate it. It doesn't mean anything. You know, the setting isn't required here, but it adds just enough interesting shit to kind of make me way more into the movie. I think I would have been way less into the plot in the movie if it wasn't sci-fi.
Yeah, it had my understanding. I was reading in the not nuggets section that it was the British gangster movie, and then there was some other iteration of it, and then I can't
remember what it was.
He took the thing and rewrote it completely, you know, and did the science fiction setting, and it's not like, you know, Blade Runner. I'm just going to compare it to that because and Blade Runner is about the technology in the future with the, you know, the replicants, the clones, you know, and it's central to the story. I mean, it's very much about humanity, and that's why we love science fiction and all that kind of thing. This one, it's like the science fiction is really more of a backdrop than anything. And I'm totally fine with that, and I'm totally here for it. Like, I love it. It was great. Such great visual candy to go with this cool story, you know? So I really like that a lot. And there was a lot of attention to detail in everything in this movie. I hope I'm not going too far off where we were, but
no, that's fine.
I feel like it's just the aesthetic of everything, the technology, the flying vehicles, the spinner-esque cars, whatever, the classic cars that were there, the cool sort of phone technology and the recording technology. Yeah, the fashion, the robots. Like, there was just a lot of really cool stuff, and it was really, really rich in detail, man. You know, the little thing about the Sam Bells and the Helium-3. Like, there's a lot of great detail in it to create that rich world. And, you know, as we're all lovers of great world building, you know, this kind of reminds me of like Guillermo del Toro levels of detail and world building. You know, like when you walk into the troll market in the Golden Army, it's just like fucking such brain candy. Your eyes, your ears, you're listening, you're looking, like all these different things and creatures and, you know, kind of cool stuff going on. You know, it was kind of like that. You know, you're kind of looking away at it, trying to take everything in and going, what is that all about? You know, what is this all about? You know, like I love stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah, I like going for it. The hacker den too.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to see another one.
What do you mean, like set in the same world?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's doing it, I guess. He wants to do a trilogy of not connected flicks in the universe.
Good.
Huh. Good, dude. Create a world.
And I like that about it.
We've always talked about movies in the same universe that are not connected. And this is a good example where it was delightful that it was connected to the Helium-3 Moon thing. But it had nothing to do with it, which is nice. Now you can kind of watch Moon and be like, oh, this is what Earth looks and feels like. It just kind of like adds context, but it's not taking away from anything, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely, man.
I feel like this is like a Kev movie, man, where I feel like the when she's like, I got the oldest, shittiest phone I could find, and pulled out like a futuristic Windows phone, and I was like, Kev, he's still rocking the Windows phone. It was so great.
Totally. It's funny, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I
there was
like
some
that
cool
too.
tech there. Like,
There was.
and I mean, again, with the like payoffs and layering, you know, he's Amish, which means he can't get his voice fixed from a technology point of view. And he's Amish, so he doesn't know how to use the tech. And so it kind of is part of him figuring out how to track down his girlfriend, you know, like, oh, wait,
Yeah.
I can fucking drone delivery food to the address. And he like goes and there's the dude like playing fucking Angry Birds in his contact lenses or
Yeah.
whatever, you know? And
Yeah.
or like when the phone jumps up onto the dude's fridge in the house, you know, there's lots of interesting stuff. And then he also goes and like gets the phone number, but he ends up like in a library looking at phone books for 4 days, you know, and finally
That was
tracks down the
crazy.
number. Like, I love how Amished
Yeah.
out he was, like the Amish detective. It was just, there was some
Well,
really interesting
it's-
shit there.
He was looking for the address,
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
which I
So
suppose
good.
he could have like just used the internet to do that.
Exactly. If he had known how to do it, he could have just like beep booped and been done. But the fact that I don't know, it's clever, you know? It's really
Well,
clever.
it's cool. It's cool too when you have a character like that who's, you know, sort of fish out of water.
So fish out of
You
water.
know,
yeah.
it's like when he has to use the technology and do the detecting, you know, like he's using a combination of analog things that he knows and that he's allowed to do from his religious upbringing. And then there's the technology on top of that, you know, so he kind of comes up, like you said, with the drone food delivery thing, you know, some innovative kind of things that a lot of people may not think of, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Meaning like he's so new to it, he walks into it, he's like, oh, well, I could do this, you know?
He's so
Average
new to
person
everything.
may not think that. Yeah,
He figures it out pretty quickly for
He
somebody
does,
who has
yeah.
no background in it, you know.
sure.
Now I'm thinking about the fact that I feel like this has a lot more in common with the Big Lebowski than it does with
Yeah.
Kingpin. You know, there's the sweater, there's the bowling, there's the bit where he like does the, you know, scribbling on the paper to like uncover the message. You know,
Yeah.
like the, you know,
Yeah.
like Nadira writes down like the address and all that stuff on the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
you know, this is my
just
third
scribble
favorite
on it.
bowling movie at this stage.
there's
Same here.
something else too, and I can't. Fuck, I can't remember what it was. There was like another tie-in to Big Lebowski. Oh, it'll come back. It'll come to me.
Sure. I think
But-
it's my third favorite bowling movie too. You know, like all these little things add up. It's good.
How this is an 11Z, a very late 11Zs, but it's a question. It's 11Z's question. How does it go on a second or third viewing, Benny? Do you forgive some of the clunkiness that's here and there? I imagine so. Is it like, do you pick up more bits? Is it more enjoyable? Is it the same level of enjoyable?
Yeah, I think the clunkiness kind of disappears because you're,
Yeah.
you know, you sort of know what's going to happen, and yeah, you pick up on more details. For instance, the Sam Bell stuff. You know,
Yeah. I feel like the clunkiness would disappear because you can put two and two together now. You're like, oh, that's why they have that. You know, that's why he chugs giant fucking beer steins full of water, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
this would definitely be worth a second watch, like another watch.
100%. I want to watch it again already.
Yeah. Maybe with a little bit of space, but
Yeah, I could use a breath, but I would like to watch it again. It's a cool
'Cause, like,
world. It's compelling.
Moon is a home run,
The-
dude. Like Moon, I'd watch anytime, and this is not quite at that level, but that's okay. Like, it doesn't need to be.
Right. It's still I don't know, it's still really good, man. It's on par, you know, like
It's in the
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see like what other movie he comes out to set in this world. Like I just think that's so cool, man. You know, like we're living in a time of just like milking so many things to death, man. Like worlds that are built, things that are built. Like it's cool to see, you know, it's kind of
IP.
yeah, thank you. Exactly.
That's
like
it, yeah.
it's reminiscent, Ben, in many ways of like I've been talking about the Hot Fuzz trilogy at work a bunch. You know,
Yeah, I
hadn't
just
seen the
watched Hot Fuzz, the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last one, and I haven't seen Shaun of the Dead in a while. But like I've seen Hot Fuzz a bunch, and I like that how they've made that trilogy over, many years.
And they're not
and
connected. Same.
They're like not connected, but they are sort of, kind of taking place in the same sort of space spiritually anyway, and it's like, I don't know. I'm like you, I'm excited about that. I'm very curious to see something cool because this guy kind of does. I mean, a big part of the reason why is because he does such cool stories, man. Like Moon is such a great story, dude. It's so like, it's fucked up and it's cool. And there's some like really great parts in it. And he really knows how to like, hit you in the heart, man. And, this is very similar, man. Like there's a lot of heart in this movie and there's a lot of touching moments, as well as, in the midst of this is kind of like the fucked up gangster movie, like while the shit's going on, like up on the moon station, like this is like the fucked up gangster shit that's happening back on Earth, and it's really cool. There's a lot going on there,
Yeah, 100%.
I know.
This is totally ridiculous, but I'm this is what we do on the show.
Sure.
But I feel like these movies are Skarsgård brothers, where Moon is Alexander Skarsgård, and I feel like this movie's like Bill Skarsgård. Like it's good, but it's like it's not Alexander Skarsgård. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like he's good in a totally different way.
You're all about comparing like
I just love Skarsgård,
to Skarsgårds.
I'm Team Skarsgård, especially like there was a nugget somewhere I was reading about how like Stellan Skarsgård was a nudist until his son started bringing home girls to the house at like 13. So he would just walk around with his cock out all the time, like reading newspapers, sitting in the den with his fucking dick hanging out. And I just think that's fucking hilarious. It's so fucking Scandinavian.
Yeah, last week you were like, Mads Mikkelsen is so cool. He should be an honorary
Skarsgård. I'm just, I don't know.
To which Ben responded, is he not good enough on his own? And then, he's got his own brother.
That's it.
Right. Yeah. He's got a brother that acts as well. So
who's really good, who was in, Ahsoka.
It's a smaller,
family tree
group, but still a family tree in the acting biz.
100%.
Totally.
So yeah, you're right. I guess that comparison, if you want to use a weird comparison, that one works.
That works, I guess. Weirdo.
These movies are Skarsgård brothers, so the next one will have to be
So
the other
dumb.
Skarsgård brother.
I love it.
What's bizarre is years later, Bill Skarsgård played a deaf mute character in this movie.
Yeah, I've heard that. I haven't seen that. I love it.
Huh.
I don't know.
Boy Kills World.
Skarsgård was interesting here, man. Like, it's a tough one. It's like a Judge Dredd where you only get the bottom half of the face, like he doesn't have a lot to work with here, and it was good, and he does it well here. But I found myself in true Skarsgårdian style wanting more Skarsgård.
Sure.
I don't really understand what the muteness did to the, like, can we maybe talk about that? Like, what does the muteness have to do with anything? Because that kind of pays off in the sense that he yells from the bridge, but it doesn't really, it makes him, maybe that's what got him into the big city. I don't understand what the muteness has to do with anything.
Go ahead, Ben. I got nothing.
I would presume it was just a choice about the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was at.
Duncan Jones thought it would make it more interesting. I don't know.
You could almost go with the, like, this is a stretch, but it's what I do. Like, so many noir movies are narrated by the person that, like, having him mute means they can't have narration in a way, like so many of these movies are like, I was feeling really salty, so I went and had a whiskey at the robot strip club.
That's me when I was 25.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, there's a theme with, like, giving the main, actor a challenge. Like in Moon, Sam Rockwell is playing against himself. and does terrifically, but it's, you know, I imagine it was quite a challenge. And I imagine it would be quite a challenge to convey everything you need to convey without having a way to speak, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what it is. Let's
That
take
makes
that
sense.
Through,
Yeah.
we'll have to see with the third movie, what, you know.
Yeah, what they
like,
do.
I'm going to take my main actor and tie an arm behind his
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do say the best shit comes from constraints, so that makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Sure. And I mean, it seems like a choice for the character and nothing more, really. I mean, because it doesn't, like, I want to say it doesn't really play any part in the movie.
It plays
other
a
than,
part, but not much.
It does, other than it structures that character in such a way that he has to do things so differently, and
that makes him different. Yeah, I was just thinking similarly.
Yeah, and
like that's what makes him so good, is that he's had to go through the shit.
Sure. And the fact that he can't communicate like a normal person, you know, it's challenging, you know, and it's like you can tell, like, all the things she says about him, like, you can tell right away. And this is a nod to Skarsgård's performance. You can tell right away that everything she's saying is true. You can see how kind he is. You can see how caring and gentle he is. Like, it's right. I mean, didn't you pick that up too, Benny?
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
yeah,
like,
absolutely. And he projects that perfectly, I thought.
Yes.
You know, like everything that needs to be conveyed, he conveys very
beautifully.
well.
Yeah.
With nothing, you know. I was going to say another aspect of it is that it kind of makes everybody underestimate him.
Yes.
You know, like
totally.
Everybody kind of presumes that he's dumb because he's Amish and he's mute, and, you know, like, so like they never, no matter what, they never seem to see him coming, you know?
Yeah.
That's totally, It's interesting. It's super interesting. And I totally actually buy the, like, I don't know. It's like this is a very crude analogy, but like sometimes you meet someone who's like, you know, model quality looks, and there's just nothing going on in the personality because they've never had to fucking develop a personality because of the attention they get elsewhere. And like, I feel like he's in a world that like chews you up and spits you out, but because of his Amish technology avoidance and because of his muteness, he's had to like forge his own way, and as a result it's like the world hasn't tainted him yet, you know. He's the one fucking clean dude, or, you know what I mean? It's kind of an interesting thing there,
and maybe that's a huge part of it.
It makes sense,
you know, because the untaintedness adds certain unique elements to everything that he does and how people interact with him and how he interacts with different people.
Sure.
It certainly makes the film interesting, for sure. You know, interesting characters are a good thing, you know? I mean, dialogue is sort of king. Like, story is king, dialogue's king. We've talked about that. But, like, interesting characters are important as well, you know? And they're all interesting, you know? Like, I was so interested in the characters. Like, I mean, even the girl who's, even the girl who's not really on, you know, in it.
Oh, you mean Nadira, the blue hair girl?
Yeah. Or she's in it less. I mean, she's in it for quite a bit, but like, you know, she was very interesting. He was very interesting. Duck was very interesting. You know, Cactus was very interesting. They were all very interesting characters. You know, and I sat
Luba
found myself,
as well.
Yeah, 100%. I found myself just like wondering about them. You know, like, wow, why is this guy the way he is? And you know, this is really interesting, and the way it was written, it seemed like, you know, there was a lot of layers there, and the actors, I'm sure, added more to that, you know, but it was really, really a big strength of the film.
It also, like, maybe to close out the Leo mute thing, like,
sure,
it flips it on its head too, because often you know, the main character in the noir is the sassy detective, you know, hard-boiled guy who like cracks wise. And I like that Bill and Duck are the ones that are cracking wise in this one, you know? Like, it kind of flips the trope on its head a little bit, too.
Yeah, I like that, too, for sure. Kind of a pulp fiction-y kind of...
Yeah.
Like a Tarantino.
Because you get, like, you know,
kind of like, you know,
Bruno, hard-boiled kind of... He's always being a fucking wise ass, you know?
Yeah.
I like that they didn't do that. I mentioned Luba in passing, man. I didn't recognize him as Klaus from Umbrella Academy, but Benny said it just before we took a quick break there. And he was interesting as Luba, man. I liked him.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, is that Klaus? And then I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Klaus. Like, I liked him in Umbrella Academy, and I thought he did a great job here. Another very weird and interesting character, man. My God.
Yeah, he was one of the only characters I liked from Umbrella Academy.
Oh, dude, that fucking show. That fucking show can go fuck itself.
I know. I was talking to somebody that said that they had seen, we only watched 1 and 2, but somebody who had seen 2, 3 and 4 and maybe 5 if there was a 5th season, and they said it was really good, but I don't know.
Not my bag,
check
dude.
it out.
Not my bag. If it's your bag, good for you. That ain't my bag.
Yeah, no, I just didn't like the way they treated each other. It got old.
Yeah, big time.
Energy got old.
Yeah, they were always kind of wailing on each other.
There's only so much shittiness I can put up with in a show.
Right.
Dude, they're always fucking with each other. They're all just kind of assholes, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just kind of poor to each other. They never really, got it. They were like, oh, hey, let's work together.
He was interesting here, though. Like, he's, I don't know, like the work friend, which I kind of thought was interesting and funny. And then later on, it's the side piece work friend, you know?
You mean Luba? You're still talking about Luba?
I guess he's the proxy for the dame coworker of the girl in black from a noir, and I like that it's androgynous, and there's that weird scene where he's actually got boobs.
He shows
presumably
up,
cybernetic
boobs. Literally dressed as Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like it. It was kind of like, okay, whatever, man. It was really really weird and
right. It flips it flips that character.
It does.
It would usually be like the sexy blonde lady that smokes cigarettes and so he sort of plays that role in the noir trope.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point, man. That's a really good point for sure.
And then also has that you're such a fucking idiot piece of that, like the disdain part of that trope as well, which I liked.
Well, it became clear he was really jealous of him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I didn't get the impression that he and Nadira had that kind of relationship, but
well, that's the interesting.
That was what he wanted. Yeah,
maybe. And that's the interesting thing about Nadira is like it's hinted at that she's got other shit. So like, I don't know about you, but in the beginning, I was like, is she gonna fuck Leo over? Is she, was she going to? But then she fell in love with him, and like you're kind of wondering what the twist is, and the twist is just that she got knocked up by Cactus Bill, and he's dangerous, not necessarily that she's a bad person or whatever. So. Yeah.
But for a little bit, I was thinking that it was somehow related to Luba in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
Like
like they do drug thing or whatever.
Like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more layers there are to this one. Like it's actually like a pretty well crafted story for how wild it can be at times. And then it also is so tropey in other ways. Like it's wild, but it's not, and the setting is crazy, but this is a lot going on.
Well, that's why I'm attracted to the idea of watching it again soon, because it is a well-crafted story. It's fairly complex, and there's a lot of layers, so I want to go back and see what I miss,
Yeah.
What I missed, rather.
I think I need a couple months. Otherwise, I think I'd probably just be like, but that's my problem.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen it like years apart.
Yeah, which that's
sure.
It sounds like one. Like, oh yeah, I'll check.
Yeah, I think I watched it, and then I think I watched it again like after we did Moon.
Okay,
and then
that was a while ago.
Yeah, but what prompted it was there's a new Paul Rudd movie with Tim Robinson called Friendship.
Okay.
And Paul Rudd has a mustache in that as well. Not as epic of a mustache.
I love that it's mustache inspired.
We're like, oh, let's watch it. But it was still like, it was still like $20 or whatever. Like it's still like a, like that new of a movie where it's like $20 to rent it. So I was like, how about another movie with Paul Rudd and a mustache?
And how?
So that's what prompted it this time.
Can we shout out? We might have said this at the time, but can we shout out Paul Rudd's recent Nintendo commercial? Did you guys catch that?
He redid his
Yeah, he remade it. I just love that.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Rudd's claim to fame was he was like
different. It's insane.
It's so great. It's so great, man. Well, that would have been like Nintendo 64 or something. Was it way back? It was like in the 90s, I think, right? I can't even remember.
I don't think it was Super Nintendo.
Maybe it was. I just love it. I love that. It's kind of like Bruno did that like Die Hard battery commercial before he kind of got the aphasia thing going on. Like, I don't know. There's just something about the self-awareness and the cheekiness to it that I just really love.
1991.
Rudd seems to just like the broiest of bros. Like, I feel like we'd be best friends.
Yeah.
Seems like a
It was indeed the
motherfucker.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
Nice.
I really like him too. I really want to see this friendship movie. I'm a big fan of this Tim Robinson guy. I've watched I Think You Should Leave numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan
Like
of when
the
Paul
whole
Rudd does
thing
stuff
of it.
outside of, his moneymaker movies, like he's
Oh,
obviously
definitely. Anything
doing
he
well
does
with it
that's
and stuff.
outside of like, Paul Rudd just like being an awesome dude. Like he's like that in a lot of movies, like I Love You Man, but like even when he did Ant-Man, there was especially in the first one, it was a little bit of an edge to it, like he had
Sure.
a little bit of an
Same with
edge
the
with
Ghostbusters
Scott
stuff.
Lang, and it was cool, man. The Ghostbusters was, I felt like that was more kind of like in line with a lot of his regular stuff, but like, I don't know, like Ant-Man, and I really like that, and like
We did
this,
have a bit of an edge,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
stuff
bit of
that's
a bit
different.
of French vanilla to the vanilla Marvel bullshit. So
Yeah.
Briar Tuck.
Brian.
exactly.
What?
By the way,
what
Kev,
else? Yeah.
I was walking.
Natural
I was walking
preservatives
out of
or some
the recording session last week, and M came in and she was like, "Hey, I keep getting these emails. Darth Hoodie joined the meeting, so she gets an email." She gets a fucking email to her work email every time you guys join, and it's always these weird ass names. I had no idea what's happening, so I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
for her.
Betty and I changing the. I didn't change my name this week, but we changed them all the time.
Quadburns has, so like,
Yeah.
it's funny. I just love that she's getting like business emails about it.
I think it's great. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Darth Hoodie. That's like my lame Star Wars nerd alter ego. One
Totally.
of them, anyway.
Darth Hoodie.
The guy that wants to be Darth Vader.
Well,
Yeah, dude. That's
maybe
just
bits
a
and
black
bobs then?
hoodie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're total bits and bobs land. Let's go. Cape Cod Mall. Totally Cape Cod Mall and Darth Hoodie together at last.
I like the douchey guys that were hitting on Nadira that ended up in the Hacker Emporium. Like that Hacker Emporium was pretty fucking cool.
The two annoying British dudes.
Yeah, they get the fucking
Yeah,
bottle
yeah,
of
yeah.
vodka upside the face. That was pretty good.
Yeah. It was
And
good to
that
see them get
Maxim
what they had
guy, like
coming to him.
he did his damnedest with that accent. He didn't do a 100% job, but he did a damn good job. Where he's just like, I'm only going to tell you this
Pretty
once.
good,
Don't
man.
fuck with my business. I kind of liked him. He was cool.
Yeah. I liked him too, man. There's a lot of cool and interesting sort of African actors or actors coming out of the continent there that have
Yeah, totally, man.
are doing some great stuff in Hollywood.
wasn't familiar with
I
that
feel
guy.
I feel like Jimon Hansu was kind of the first.
He was one
you know,
of,
I
yeah,
could be-
for sure.
I could be wrong, and then like there's a lot of them now, man. And I really
And the other
love it.
girl
There's
too,
and X.
the bald girl here was in the Black Panther movies as one of the
Oh, well, there you
bodyguards.
go, man. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of those actors coming out of Africa are just super talented, man.
Totally.
and bringing some really killer work to the table.
Same
so
with music.
Really
They
happy
have
to see
tons
that.
of really good music coming
Yeah.
out of there too. It's just nice to
Well, dude, it's about fucking time, man.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I feel like
it's
that-
just
that
exposure as
continent's
opposed
been-
to it not ever being a thing.
Well,
It's
yeah,
nice-
I mean, I
it's
feel
nice
like that
that it's-
continent's just kind of been run through the ringer for the last like
Sure.
500 years. yeah, we're gonna come in and just take all your diamonds.
Take all
We're
your
gonna come in
shit.
here and
Go
just
fuck
live
yourselves.
here. Like exactly.
Now they're up and coming big time.
Hey,
yeah, he
we'll
was
sell
good.
you the
He was cool.
weapons so you can kill those guys over there.
It didn't really go anywhere for Maxim, unfortunately. Like I don't know. I kind of like Leo came in with the bedpost or whatever, but it reminds me of.
Well, when he came in, he was really interesting, but like, yeah, then he just got dispatched with the thing, the stat bust or whatever.
He didn't
And I was
die,
like, oh, that's a bummer.
which is fine, but
Yeah.
he kind of reminded me.
Still.
Not actually. I kind of wanted him to be like, excuse me, like a Jeff Daniels in Looper, where he like he's the boss man, but he kind of.
Oh yeah, that's
Like
right.
they built him up. They built Maxim up a little bit. Like he had just enough sprinkling of him in there. Or Papa Midnight in like Constantine or whatever. Like it just didn't really go anywhere for him. There just needed to be like one more scene with Maxim in it, I think. And that
Agreed.
would've- yeah.
Agreed.
I think they kind of
I feel like
robbed
there
him a
wasn't
little
enough
bit.
there.
It might have been on the cutting room floor, to be honest, but
Yeah, it could have been, but I think he was
Could
a
be.
cool character. I liked the way what the actor did with it, and it was kind of, I was kind of like, oh, it's a bummer. I wanted to see a little bit more of that guy.
yeah. And I don't think it would have served
What
the
were you gonna
story
say,
same for Nadira. Like I kind of would have liked to have seen a little bit more of her, but it didn't work
Agreed.
structurally. So because they're both really good actors. Restaurant
Yeah.
scene with the like floating fucking Korean barbecue torch and the like
I don't remember that.
prostitute makeup. Like the Asian girl had like a heart painted on her face. That's actually his wife, I think. That's Duncan Jones's wife.
Really?
Yeah. And then the
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
With the dude that ends up getting tortured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And the weird cook it under the like particle beam.
Yeah, totally. I want to go to that Korean barbecue place, dude. Fuck yeah.
That was interesting.
And the dudes in the corner, the syndicate guys, which evidently is pulled from an old video game, like the black paint,
Yeah.
white eye thing. Like that was really cool.
That looked familiar.
Yeah, evidently it's lifted straight from some 90s video game that I'd never heard of. Like the cover of the video game art was those dudes. But the game itself was like fucking 6 pixels. You know what I mean? It's like it was just a random piece of
Right.
art.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But super cool, super cyberpunky.
Yeah. Part of that great world building.
I gotta fucking play that
Yeah.
game. I don't think I can carve out the time.
What game?
Cyberpunk. You've talked about it a bit.
Yeah, it turned, I mean, it got a rough start, man.
Had
but
a rough start.
God
from
damn
what
it,
I hear,
turned out real fucking good, man.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It is
And it's
just-
coming out on the Switch too, which I think I'm gonna get for Christmas for the kid.
There you
Ooh,
go.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's like playing a movie,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're
I love that.
I like
you're
that.
first person, and like it doesn't like, when you start dialogue with somebody, it doesn't like go to this weird static screen,
Yeah, okay.
like it just like you're
Annoying
just in the
trees of
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just in the environment talking to them,
Ooh.
So yeah, it's like when shit happens, it feels like it's happening to you,
Yeah.
What the hell is this, dude? Sorry, I just made the
That's
mistake of
injection.
opening Steam. Sorry, it is a full ejection with a fucking nuclear death. Dude, I caught this. There's a game called Dune Awakening. I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah, I am
looks
playing
pretty
that right
cool.
now.
Are you? Open world survival craft, massively multiplayer. Okay,
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I mean, I have a love hate relationship with survival games.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
It's good, but it's a survival game,
Right,
So
right.
it's just like I get balled up with them, like it's like you're always climbing, like you're always trying to get to the
Right.
next tier of better stuff, and you're
Yeah,
always trying to,
Yeah.
and there's only so much of that I can take before I'm just like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the whole game is a grind, it gets much. For
It's
sure.
kind of stressful too, You're like, oh, I just got to get this one thing, and then I'll be like here, and then you're just kind of like,
No,
go get this other fucking thing.
You plateau for so, like your plateaus are so short, like
Yeah,
it's like you
exactly.
finally get the new good stuff, and you're like you're badass for like 5 minutes, and then everything jumps up a tier, and you're trying to catch up again.
Yeah,
like it just
100%.
feels. That's
It's
just how
tricky
those
balance.
games feel to me, and
It's anxiety inducing.
for some people, that's a lot of fun, and it is fun, and they did a great job. I think it's it's got great reviews, and
until it's not. I think is what you're saying. It's a lot of fun.
Well, games should be fun and relaxing sometimes.
It's something I would play, I've kind of been hitting it hard for the past week, but I think I'm probably going to end up putting it down for a while pretty soon. It'd be fun to play with other people because it would take a lot of the pressure off.
Sure.
But, I'm just kind of slow grinding it out there right now. So,
sure.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But survival games aren't necessarily my bag.
Sure.
So,
no.
Yeah, no,
but it's interesting. It takes place in it's like an alternate universe kind of a thing where Paul Atreides is never born.
Okay.
And like Jessica does as the birth
a daughter.
Bene Gesserit want and has a daughter.
Oh.
So
interesting.
That's interesting.
Neat. Yeah, that is interesting.
That's cool that they're allowed to kind of just branch off with it. Makes sense. And then they can just fuck it up if they want to, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was my thought. Some people were pissed. I won't mention any names. But I was like, I don't know. I think it's kind of a smart idea because it gives you more room to have agency in the story.
It's the Star Trek reboot, dude. Parallel universe, whatever. Have some fun with it.
You can kind of explore. Well, it gives creators a chance to explore the space without doing something ridiculous like
infuriating too many
neckbeards or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Bits and bobs about this movie.
I got to tell you, it is scary as fuck when you fucking when you attract the attention of a worm.
Someone
actually gets close to you.
Yeah,
I've done a pretty good job of avoiding them, but last night I was playing and I wasn't paying attention and the worm gauge had turned red and I saw it off in the distance and I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. And I started running and the thing fucking popped out of the ground right behind me and just followed me all the way to a stone outcropping and just kind of sat there for a minute, like that scene from the second Denis movie. And then I turned around and went back into the ground. I was like, holy fuck.
I love just picturing you, Benny, just running on the sand dunes of fucking Dune, avoiding sand. I love it, dude. Yeah.
I was listening to him and I was all I could picture, because all I have in my head is that last photo you sent a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that face, but with a raccoon garb,
yeah. I love it. That would totally.
Excuse me. I'm picturing you with Fremen garb running for your life with a giant maw behind you.
Pretty much it. I tried to make my character as much like me as possible.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. I like that.
It's usually my thing. And his name is Jarhego, but it's Jaarhegaux.
Hell yeah.
Jarhego.
I love that.
Jarhego.
I was running around in I was running around and there's dungeons, different, there's abandoned ships and abandoned planetology field labs that you can go down into and get good loot and stuff. So I was down in there and this group of dudes showed up and I just heard this guy go, "Are you friendly?" And I'm they start shooting at me, but there's only PvP in certain areas, which is one thing that I do like about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like PvP when I don't want a PvP.
I hate that. Yes.
So there's designated areas for that. But then they ran up and he was like, Jarhego. Hi, Jarhego.
Count Jarhego.
I want to be your Stilgar and be like Lisa Higgs.
Yeah,
just constantly following you around,
dude. That's his new name, Lisan Al Higgs.
Every time you do anything, Lisa Higgs. Okay. Anyways, that was fun.
Oh my god, yeah, couldn't go without that for sure. That's cool, man. That's funny. I was just picturing you. Actually, I somehow it switched all in my mind. Same face, but now you're in a caftan instead of all the Fremen garb running around.
Ooh, I wonder if there is. I want a caftan so bad now. I know you can buy like in craft like casual clothes, so keep an eye out for that.
Totally. Drink your Fremen
I
coffee.
am Jarhigo of the caftan. All right, yeah, Chad's right. Bits and bobs about this movie. Anything else?
Yeah. Bits and bobs.
I don't really have anything super specific. I kind of like in terms of detail. I mean, this is why I want to watch it again because there's some little details that I missed. I would like to shout out that ridiculous freaking Bowie knife that Paul Rudd was rocking, dude. I mean,
shout out to the fact that it's a Bowie knife and it's Bowie's kid. Yeah,
Bowie's kid.
That was a little whatever on the nose, but yeah,
it was a pretty sick.
I like the. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Polished to a high shine,
dude, with the little short security guard.
That was freaking crazy, dude. I don't
so
know. That
unnecessary.
It felt slightly out of place to me.
It was like a fucking Walter Sobchak moment, you know?
Exactly.
It was. Exactly. Yeah, it was very a Sobchak moment for sure.
Yeah, exactly. What about the buffer, dude? I didn't pick up on it at all, but the buffer guy that has the leg fight with Skarsgård. So Skarsgård comes into the club and he's got the fucking bedpost, and the other dude rips one of the strippers' legs off, and they have like a fucking old school fight. That guy was great.
Yes,
that was weird.
And he was modeled off of the bodyguard from Clockwork Orange. I was like, who? And I googled it.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't remember that.
That was played by the guy that was actually in the Darth Vader suit.
Yeah, exactly. I fucking love that so hard, man. I love that so hard. So he was good. He was cool. He would fit right into the British gangster movie. He was very, very good there.
I wouldn't say like nothing really like specific with like the backdrop, the settings, even though there was a lot there. Again, I want to watch it again so I can kind of absorb more of that. But I like the way they used the light in this movie. Like they'd use some rain too, which made it kind of Blade Runner-esque and also nighttime, but just the way they used the light, the lighting sources, like it was a good, cool mix of old and futuristic, and it just worked really, really well and created a really, really nice kind of eye candy of a, backdrop to watch this great story take place. So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of covered a lot of the things I would have bitted and bobbed about. The Jeep, the bowling alley.
Sure.
The Merc.
Yeah. The mustache.
Well, there you go.
Let's put it to bed then. Yeah, NDR. Let's put it to bed. Nuggets.
I imagine you all saw the first nugget.
I think so.
I did notice the money. I was like, oh, that's cool money. But I did not notice the nugget on the money, which is that David Hasselhoff is on the money.
Thing. Yeah, that was.
Really?
Cool. I like that.
I just sent you a photo of it. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, it does take place in Germany, so.
Yeah, man. The hoof.
That fits. Don't hassle the huff.
I just like, I don't know. I kind of like how willing to have a good time or fun or be cheeky and have Easter eggy layers Jones is, man. He seems like he should get a lot more work. He also said in an interview with, I think it was Vanity Fair, because like one I saw at the end, it was like dedicated to two parents, and it was his dad,
his parents, yeah,
but it wasn't. It was his dad and his nanny. I guess his mom fucking noped out and took a $750K settlement from Bowie to just fuck off. And when he was 13,
wow.
So like the nanny basically raised him, and then Bowie acknowledged it later and left her $1 million when he died, and like so it's just really interesting. I just thought it kind of puts a little bit of a spin on the movie in the sense that he's bringing some of his own, I don't know, youth into the film, I guess, or whatever. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But I mentioned an interview with Vanity Fair, and he said He said that after World of Warcraft, he said he fucking hated it so much because of all of the bullshit he had to fight for and getting fucked over by the studios that like the studios would never make a movie like this. And he was thankful for like the streaming services being willing to fund a lower budget non-franchising movie. And so like it's, while obviously I have my issues with, you know, all of the bullshit with the streaming wars and the streaming budget bullshit, like it's just nice to see these movies get made, you know?
Agreed. I've heard other things about Netflix like that too, which is really cool. Like Pete Berg was talking about that when he was talking about American Primeval on Rogan. And he was just talking about how great they were to work with and how much flex they gave him with just to go out and be creative. I don't know if you guys have seen American Primeval. Like it's
I've heard
Western.
of it,
Yeah, it's a Western like limited series based on what happened in and around, you know, Utah with Brigham Young back in the day. It is a brutal window into the world of the frontier. It is crazy, and it's so good, so worth watching too.
Yeah, sick.
So yeah, it's cool that you know spaces like Netflix are doing that. I really appreciate that.
It's just nice that they're making.
Well, they're stepping up to the plate and they're letting people do it. Well, yeah, exactly.
He says like people aren't willing to make indie films anymore.
Movie.
There's no more indie brand. I mean, that's not literally true, but like it's harder to make an indie film, and it's just nice that a film like this gets made. Yeah.
Well, we talked about how The Creator was kind of
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was essentially an indie movie. I mean, it had an $80 million budget, but like, you know, that was very much outside the traditional studio system. So.
Yeah, totally. So shout out to that. This would have bombed hard in a theater, I think, though, unfortunately.
I think so too, man, especially with the name, the title being what it is. The only other nugget I had was the Sam Rockwell. You know, he kind of wanted him to play the Cactus Bill character. And I was only interested in that because, you know, I often go off on casting nuggets, but that one is interesting because I think Sam Rockwell would have done an equally good job as Paul Rudd. Just it would have been a different interpretation of the character. And I would really like to see that. You know, it's like I would love to have seen that. You know, I'm glad we got what we got and I wouldn't change it now, but I think he would have been a fantastic Cactus Bill. So that was a cool, interesting little movie.
Shit, I'd like to see Paul Rudd's take on Sam Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Also
interesting.
That would be also cool. Yeah.
It was just nice to see. We said it before, but it was just nice to see Rudd as a baddie. Like, I want to see more of that shit, man.
Yeah, me too. I like when he does different stuff because he's totally capable of it.
5.5.
It's so funny. When I met his wife years ago. She was the roommate of a good friend of mine who worked in the movie business. No, Paul Rudd. And it was when... Yeah, it was before I moved up to the island. This was back in the 90s, and it was right when he had made Clueless, because that was like his first big movie. That was first kind of, you know, thing where people were like, oh, he's so awesome in that. He's such a great guy, you know, and turns out he really is like that. And it's just weird that I had met his wife a couple of times, and I never ran into him in all that time. It's odd. I would like to have met him, I think, is what I'm driving at.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not really not a lot of celebrities I'd like to meet, but he's definitely one of them because I really admire his work.
Be a good dude. You see that 5.5 rating? Is that what you were looking at, Heeks?
Yeah, I'm like really baffled by how much people don't seem to like this.
Hated this movie.
Where are you seeing that on IMDb?
On IMDb.
Yeah, just looking at their
5.5 out of 10.
Realized I hadn't looked at their ratings, but I think they're bullshit.
I just don't think they get it.
There's a dude here, harsh reviews. I think this is a film for people who enjoy actually watching films rather than picking apart themes, time periods, and futuristic gadgets. Just sit back and enjoy it. It's a slow-paced film, but has some great side plots to keep you interested. I think the reviews are way too harsh. Yeah, fucking seems pretty bang on.
Yeah.
Maybe this movie in the wrong headspace. Maybe I would have gone onto the fucking dark side of the force for, but like, I don't know. Like especially after talking about it, I enjoyed it even more now that we've kind of talked about how well crafted it was.
I love when that happens. Yeah, me too.
I found the third thing, Kev. Originally it was going to be a British gangster movie. Then it was changed to be set in Tokyo with Watanabe as Leo, and
that was it.
Sci-fi.
Yes,
so I'd watch any version of it, but I'm appreciative of the sci-fi.
Definitely, I like the Germany setting too. It's cool.
The Chocolate Rain version would be interesting.
There you go. Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate Rain.
All right, so let's move it along. Deaths. We had like one.
You ejected like a mofo.
Oh shit, I did. That's right.
And I said the word delightful.
Yeah, you had a delightfully dead death, and then I had an ejection.
You ejected so hard that you ejected the podcast onto the Dune game.
That's right.
Took us with you.
That was a bit of a group ejection.
Yeah.
Nondescript ejection death, and then I'm going to put the. There was like a nuclear ejection there, right? Was that the Dune thing?
Yeah.
Nuclear Dune. Oops.
Nuclear.
Sorry, yeah. Let me write that. And how do we spell that? N-O-O.
Nuclear.
Nuclear. N-O-O-K-U-L-E-R. Nuclear.
With an E at the end. You got to put an E at the end, too.
Nuclear.
Yeah, nuclear.
You got to Dan Quayle that shit.
Dune ejection.
That's a George Bushism if there ever was one.
Right.
What, nuclear?
Nuclear.
I just was listening to somebody was replaying a speech of his, and he said nuclear like fucking 20 times.
My favorite one was the
fucking
"Fool me
kidding
once"
really?
quote with him.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, don't get fooled again.
Don't get fooled again. Like, all right,
Dude,
fucking The Who. It was so good, man. I love that one. So it's like a T-shirt.
Man.
I mean, he's comedy gold, man.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
He did a
played
good job.
George Bush.
He did.
And he was great. And then, Zaphod Beeblebrox was like part George Bush,
Bushy.
part Elvis or something like that.
There you go. Yeah. He played Bush in that Cheney movie that was so fucking excellent with Christian Bale. Holy shit, that movie was
Vice.
good.
Yeah.
Vice, thank you. Yes.
Vice is good, yeah. I was just like fucking doom scrolling Instagram or something recently, and the scene with Rockwell fucking a dude up in 3 Billboards. Have you guys seen 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri?
That is
so
fucking
good.
Great movie, dude. Yes. Rockwell was
rewatch
really good in that. That's what really blew him up, man. People were like, "Yeah, you can't hide anymore, dude. You're too good."
So good. Netflix.
Yeah, he's great.
Rockwell love aside.
Recommendations?
Wholeheartedly, man. I think
same
I think
here.
I would say like
1,000%.
it's not fucking Blade Runner 2049 in terms of like neon noir, but it's really enjoyable if you give it some space and accept the weirdness of, mute Amishness or whatever. It's all there for a reason in it, and it's a very enjoyable flick.
And the Blade Runner-y backdrop is just a backdrop for a really great story too. It's not like that the futuristicness or the science fictionness of it really plays a massive part in the story itself. Only in that it's sort of that pitted against the main character who's very non-technology, So anyway, it's absolutely worth seeing. I'm sure Benny feels the same way.
Hey, I recommended it, so.
Damn right.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey, I think he likes it.
Hey, he likes it. Yeah,
yes,
right on.
sir.
This is the same year as Vice, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, 2018.
God, that movie was so good.
Year after 3 Billboards. Doesn't feel like 3 Billboards is that old, but right on.
Knock it out of the park. Slab, what's going on for next week, man?
You, my friend,
are going away.
Can't quit us. You're out, so it's a twofer. It's a Benny. It's a Hegro. Listen, all Heeks. C-Lab twofer. We're going to do
I like
Long
that.
Kiss Goodnight, the Gina Davis assassin flick, which is a spin-off of a Luc Besson assassin flick, La Femme Nikita, if I remember correctly.
There you go.
It's been a long time. I think it's good. We'll find out next week.
Only time will tell. And we'll find out next week, right here on the EBD. So there you have it, folks. Long Kiss Goodnight next week. Twofer, I will be gone. And thank you for joining us for Mute. And strongly recommend you watch this movie, especially if you're a sci-fi fan. It's great. And that's it. We will see you, as Paul Rudd once said in a movie, we will see you on another time.
See ya.
Latris on the Menjay.
Nice. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you would like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/308. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the reviews. Thank you for the kind words. The coffee cards, the Patreon, we love it. And we would appreciate more. And if you are interested in supporting us and helping us keep the lights on, as it were, you can do so patreon.com/EBD podcast. You can also leave us a review somewhere, and you can also tell your friends and loved ones to check out the show. And that's it. If you want to join us on social, Instagram would be the place to do it, and that's at EBD Podcast. Join in on the conversation. Thanks for joining us for Mute. We'll see you next week. I won't, but they will, for Long Kiss Goodnight. That's all for now, folks. So long.
What was he lab? 2 for Torhigo, 3 for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. I mean,